The second secret that you will learn in this book is speed. First of all, there is internal speed, and then there is external speed. The internal speed is done through the mind and body. It's how the communication between the mind and body processes or orders speed. Basically, the mind tells the body that it wants to go at a certain speed, and there's a communication that has to go from the mind and body, that there's a kind of a so-called electrical short in there, and what happens is that the speed technique eliminates this short, and then you get a natural and internal speed. And also you need to learn external speed. External speed is basically the speed that you have to adapt to or adjust to that happens outside of your body. So once you understand internal and external, then you can control the speed. The second, I think, that it does is speed training, is it gives you the control. If you want to go at a certain speed, you can control that. You just don't have to assume or hope that it will happen at the right time and the right place, because you have control of that. Also, there's a cheating technique. It's the same thing as in timing, that you can cheat at speed, and it's perfectly ethical and legal, and the only person who will ever find out about it is if someone that you tell what you're doing, because everything is all done in your mind. So it gives you the edge over other athletes, because you're not only able to control the internal external speed, but you can also cheat at it. And there's various levels of speed training, and it's a simple technique, and anybody can do it. So this is secret number 2 in speed that you'll learn. Secret number 3 is rhythm. And basically rhythm is really important because it has to do with all different speeds, and it has to do with the tempo and flow of the play or game. Basically it gets you to find out what the tempo and flow of the game is, and how to turn that into your advantage by manipulating that. And this is number 2. It helps you to manipulate your competition or the other team into doing things your way without them even knowing how it's done. Because if you don't understand what rhythm is and how the various speeds are, you can really manipulate your competition into following the tempo and flow of the game. And this is very important, because as all athletes experience in training or in competition, once you fall behind, it's hard to play catch-up baseball type of thing. And by understanding this rhythm and different speeds and how it works and how you can manipulate, then it really gives you a really great advantage over your competition. Basically, it gives you the control over the play or the game. You can change the tempo and the play of the game to your advantage. You know, in sports, for example, they'll come out in the first period, they're flying, and then the next period, they're not peaking at that level. They don't have that tempo and flow going. And maybe the third period, they'll come back and get that flow and tempo going. Well, if you can control that, you can control the game. You can control the outcome. Once you know how to manipulate that, then it gives you tremendous advantage over your competition. And it's almost like cheating in a sense, because you know what's going on, you know how to manipulate it, but again, all this stuff is legal and ethical, and it's just a mind technique that you use, and it sets up the tempo and flow and timing and rhythm of the game to your advantage. So this is what secret number 3 will do for you. The fourth secret is reflex. Now, reflex is really important in sports, and a lot of athletes think that, oh, if I learn a technique and I train it for thousands of times, then I'll get automatic reflex. It doesn't work that way. If your timing is off, your reflex won't be at peak levels. There's a simple technique that you use for reflex, and it coordinates your mind and body at peak levels automatically. And this is done automatically with the technique of reflex, timing, and speed training. You don't have to worry, well, am I going to react fast enough, or am I going to react too fast or too slow? It'll be done automatically. And I know it kind of sounds kind of like far-fetched and not believable or whatever, but when you start training this and you start to get peak performance in reflex and speed and timing and everything else, you just kind of go, wow, where was this? I know because I went through all of these problems in karate, and it's not a nice place to be. I couldn't control my reflex. Some days I was on and other days I was off. Well, the days I was off, I was still the same person, the same athlete as the day that I was on before. It's just that there was a so-called electrical short between the mind and body, and it prevented the reflex action from happening automatically. Well, this reflex training and technique eliminates that so that you don't have to worry about it, it just works automatic. So when something works automatic, it gives you back the control that you want in training and in competition. It eliminates this hope or assuming that I'll peak at the right time. Don't have to worry about that stuff. Again, reflex, there's internal reflex and there's external reflex. Again, it has to do with the communication between the mind and body. This is internal. Once you've got that, you learn that. Then you learn about the external reflex. Well, this will all be done automatic. You don't have to worry about something coming fast at you or slow or whatever. Or you reacting at in proper time in your technique. It'll all be done automatic. So this secret number 4, reflex, that's what it'll do for you. Now another component, the 5th secret, is body mechanics. Well, part of body mechanics, there's power, balance, breathing. This is like power is 6, balance is 7, and breathing is 8. And then later on I'll talk about mental focus. But basically body mechanic is a section all by itself. Body mechanics basically gives athletes a perfect alignment of the body. So when the body's perfectly aligned, you'll be able to master learning new techniques because you'll be positioned the right way. You will have the proper balance, proper power, and everything will be flowing the right way. So it's not just a matter of tuning up. The timing and the speed and rhythm and reflex kind of works on the mind side also, but the body mechanics, you have to get your body aligned in a perfect way for you to learn and perform at peak levels. Now, you'll also master your center of gravity. Center of gravity will give you more power, it will give you more reach, more distance, and it'll enable you to perform physically at peak levels automatically. Once you learn about body mechanics, you'll learn true power, and it's natural power. And this will all be done with the center of gravity and how to achieve more power. Now, I'm not talking about power about lifting weights and all that stuff. There's a natural power that comes within when everything is lined up perfect. Did you ever have, for example, a perfect performance where you had all kinds of power, everything was timed perfectly, and you go, wow, that's like being in the flow. And that's natural power, and that's what you want to achieve. A lot of athletes have a hard time achieving that, and that's why they try to do a lot of weights or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would rather have natural power versus what I call counterfeit power. And body mechanics will also give you perfect balance. Balance has nothing to do with how many years and how many repetitions you've done your technique or movement. It's a simple technique that you change one part of your body. A simple movement that will give you perfect balance. That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about anything else. Now, also a part of body mechanics, you will learn breathing, how to breathe properly, because as a baby, we all were breathing very naturally and in the proper way. When you get teenager, then your breathing changes to the negative side, about 40 to 50% for the rest of your life. So I teach you why this happens and how to prevent it, how to correct it. And when you have perfect body mechanics, you'll be able to learn techniques faster and perform better in training and in competition. And the biggest thing that it gives athletes is it gives them back the control of their body. as soon as you want to do something physically, any movement, you have control. And then it gets your sport fun again, versus being like frustrated and all pissed off because things are not, you can't learn things fast enough, or you can't perform at the levels that you want. Once you have control, you have control. Remember when I was talking to you earlier about having a thermostat or a cruise control that can regulate things within your mind and body? Well, once you have this body mechanics all lined up perfectly, then it gives you back to control. And that's what body mechanics, which is secret number 6. Then secret number 7 is power. And then secret number 7 is balance that you learn. And secret number 8 is breathing.